Oh no, I've only gone and made a blooming mistake in the previous row, Joey. What am I going to do? Am I going to frog back? What am I going to do? Let me show you. You see here, look, that stitch there is green. That should be pink. What have I done? Now, the reason we're doing this video is because in a previous video, I said that I don't correct my mistakes. And I generally don't correct mistakes. I make them work for me. So let me just talk about that first of all. And then I'm going to show you how I would fix this mistake, because I'm actually going to fix this one. So I'm going to show you how to do it. But normally I'm knitting. I've got my pattern there, and I'm knitting along, and I'm referring to the pattern, but I'm not inspecting every square when I'm knitting the pattern. So normally, like, I'm watching TV, aren't I, Joey? And to inspect that, I'd need my glasses on. But when I'm watching TV, I've got them up there, right? So I'm knitting along, and I go, oh, that's roughly that. So I just sort of roughly knit the few rows. So I knit a few rows, and then the following day, cold light day, I come back to look at them, and I go, oh, that's a bit out. So I start to make corrections, and I get back onto where I should be. So I don't care really very much about specific detail. If I'm knitting a bird, for instance, I might take a little bit more care, because if I don't, concentrate too much, it could end up looking a weird shape. But generally, I don't care. And I just wanted to show you a glaring mistake. So what happened here was I'm doing the integrated rib on the armpit on my bunny vest here. And I will get round to showing you in a second, Joey, how I fixed that one. Right, so I'm doing the integrated rib, and so this is one arm, and I got round to the other side, and I miscalculated, and so I was 2 stitches out. So when I got to the other side, it was out. And I don't know if you can see, it took me a couple of rows to realise. Now, was I going to go back a couple of rows and frog a couple of rows because for my own, because no one's going to see it because it's under the armpit anyway, right? So the only person that it annoys, if anyone, is me. And it doesn't annoy me. I'm really happy to let it go. So I just corrected it there. So I did 2, see those stitches there? So the purl stitches should have been where the knit stitches were, and the knit stitches should have been where the purl stitches were. And in actual fact, I realised on the first row round that I'd done it. And then I thought, oh, I'll decide when I get to the next row. And on the next row, so I'd knitted it another row. I thought to myself, just let it go. And then on the next row, I thought, oh, I better correct it to what it should be. So I corrected it to what it should be, and it's still there. The mistake's still there. You can still see the working out. And when I paint, I like to show the underpainting. I like to show the workings out. It's called pentimento, and in painting. So I like people to see my mistakes, and I know it's probably controversial with a lot of you out there, but I will show you what I do sometimes. So for instance, if I was working on something and the bird's beak looked weird because I cut it short because I changed color too quickly, so I will show you now how I would correct something on the following row. But generally I let most things go. I very rarely correct on the following row. And lots of mistakes I leave in. The majority of my mistakes I leave in. But I'm going to show you. So you better do over your shoulder thing. Try not to knock my glasses off, Joey, like you normally do. Right. So this green stitch here from the previous row should have been pink. So I'm going to get up to it first. Let me get up to it. So I've got a couple of stitches to do. No floats method. Whoa. Right, now I'm going to change that. So I'm just going to put my thing in there, needle in there. It's hard to do it because I've got my wife's phone in my face, but I'm just going to get rid of that green. Don't want that green. I'll just do it that way. So that green stitch I'm just pulling out. Right, now I'm going to find the pink that was running across the back. There. So I've got the pink. I don't know if you can see that. So I've got the pink that's running across the back. And I'm now going to pull that stitch over there and pull that through. And put that back on. And there we are. It's now been corrected. So that green stitch is now a pink stitch. So that's how I correct when I come up to the line. Now, you can go back there now, Joe. Hopefully everyone saw that.
What happened to the green stitch though?
Okay, so what will happen is on the back, the green float will be quite loose. It will be a looser float. And what will have happened is I'll have tightened the pink stitches on either side of there. So that's the downside of it. So if you are after perfect stitch definition, where every stitch is perfectly the same and all lovely, then this isn't a method for you. This is a method for me, for people who don't care about stitch definition. And that's another thing I don't care about. So I don't care about stitch definition and I don't care about leaving my mistakes in. So does that explain it, Joey?
Not to me. So what happened to the green stitch? That's all I can think of. Haven't you dropped a stitch now? How did you not lose the stitch?
Well, it's just carried behind. It's still, the green stitch is just, see that loop there? So it's just a bigger loop behind. That's all it is. It's just a bigger loop on the back.
So you didn't lose that stitch? When you had to swap it from pink to green, no, from green to pink.
I didn't, I just picked up the pink instead of picking up the green from behind. So it doesn't make any difference.
So you just looped the pink over and let go of the loop of the green, but the green didn't.
The green hasn't disappeared. It's just there's a bigger float on the back. That's all, of the green. And what's happened is because the pink stitches on either side will have tightened up. So those 3 pink stitches will all be really tight and slightly smaller, tiny little bit smaller than the other pink stitches. So that's why I'm saying, for people that want perfect stitch definition, but for me, it's not, it's not something I care about at all.
Well, I hope people understood that. If you're a knitter, maybe you understood that.
Well, you don't do two-colour knitting,
no,
so you don't.
It's a bit.
Yeah, but I'm sure that people, there will be people that they will think it's sacrilege what I've just done, So
will there be people that understand what you've just done?
Yeah, there'll be people that understand what I've just done, and yeah, I mean, I do it because the reason I do what I do is because there's not enough time left in my life to knit all of the things that I want to knit. So something's got to give. I've got to, I produce so little anyway. There's so many ideas in my head. I get so few things finished. I can't waste time going back and correcting things. I've just got to get on to the next thing, the next thing done.
I hope people understand that. And maybe another day you should do what happens if you do drop a stitch on the previous row.
Drop a stitch?
Well,
Drop a stitch is easy correction. Most people know that. And there'll be loads of YouTube videos on that. So, yeah. But, people will comment on this. Some people will hopefully comment if you think what I do's right. That would be nice. Yeah.
Oh, it's a bit of a lecture.
It's always a bit of a, yeah. Sometimes when I do lecture stuff, but I am talking to you, Joey, when I'm doing the lecture.
Remember, there's people out there too.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Well, no, not hello. Is it okay to say goodbye now?
I think
so. It's goodbye from me and goodbye from her. Thanks, Joey. Bye.